Kai worked on the outer edges of the mining colony called Nova Ridge. The colony was small but growing, built on a rocky planet far from Earth. The air was thin and the sun was dim, but the people who lived there were hopeful. They came looking for new chances and a better future. Kai was a miner by trade. Every day, he and the others drilled into the planet's surface to find valuable crystals that could power machines back home. The work was hard and often dangerous, but Kai liked the quiet of the rocks and the stars above. He often dreamed of traveling beyond the colony and seeing new worlds. One evening, after a long shift, Kai decided to take a shortcut through an old canyon on the way back to his small shelter. The sun was setting, painting the sky in orange and purple. The wind was cool, and the silence around him felt peaceful. But then, something caught his eye. Near a pile of broken stones and twisted metal, something moved. Kai stopped and looked carefully. There, half hidden by dust and shadows, was a woman. She was unlike any person Kai had ever seen. Her skin shimmered softly in the fading light, and her eyes were a bright shade of green that seemed almost to glow. Kai stepped closer, heart pounding with curiosity and concern. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice quiet. The woman did not answer. She looked weak and was breathing slowly. Her clothes were strange and torn, made of materials Kai did not recognize. She seemed lost, as if she had come from another place. Far away, Kai knelt down beside her and gently touched her shoulder. "Hey, can you hear me?" Suddenly, her eyes fluttered open. They fixed on Kai with a strange intensity. "You have one wish left," she said in a calm voice, but her words were filled with mystery. Kai blinked, surprised. "What do you mean? Who are you?" The woman tried to sit up but winced in pain. Kai helped her. "My name is Zara," she said. "I come from a place beyond your stars. You have been given a rare chance, one wish. Use it wisely." Kai felt his mind spin. He wanted to ask many questions, but he did not want to overwhelm her. Instead, he nodded slowly. "Where did you come from? Why are you here?" Zara looked away for a moment, as if remembering something far away. "I traveled through space and time. I was sent here to find someone who could change the future. That someone is you." Kai laughed nervously. "Me? I'm just a miner. I don't know anything about changing the future." Zara smiled faintly. "Sometimes, the smallest people have the greatest power. Your heart is stronger than you know." Kai helped Zara to his shelter nearby. As they walked, he noticed how different she was. Her movements were graceful, almost like she was floating instead of walking. Yet, she seemed tired, as if the journey had taken everything from her. Inside the shelter, Kai made a fire and offered her water. Zara accepted quietly, watching him with curious eyes. The shelter was small and plain, but to Zara, it was a new world. Kai sat down beside her. "Tell me more about this wish," he said. "What can I ask for?" Zara's green eyes sparkled with a strange light. "Anything you desire. Wealth, power, knowledge, peace, anything. But be careful. Wishes have consequences. Sometimes they change more than you expect." Kai thought for a long time. He remembered the hard days at the mine, the danger, and the fear for the colony's future. But he also thought about Zara and her mysterious presence. "Why me?" he asked. "Why not someone else?" Zara looked deep into his eyes. "Because you still believe. Because you have hope. Because you are kind. That makes you special." Kai smiled softly. For the first time in a long time, he felt a spark of something new inside him, a feeling that maybe, just maybe, life could be different outside. The stars began to shine brightly. The night was full of quiet mystery, and the wind whispered secrets through the rocks. Kai sat with Zara, waiting for what would come next. The wish was there, waiting, and everything was about to change. The morning sun rose slowly over the rocky hills of Nova Ridge. Kai woke early, feeling restless after the strange events of the night. Zara was still resting, wrapped in a soft blanket that Kai had found in an old supply box. Her breathing was steady, but her face looked pale and tired. Kai sat outside his shelter, watching the sky turn from dark blue to soft pink. He thought about the words Zara had said, the wish, the chance to change anything he wanted. It seemed impossible, like a dream. How could he, a simple miner, be given something so powerful? As the colony began to stir, the sounds of machines and voices filled the air. People worked hard to survive in this harsh world, and Kai felt their weight on his shoulders. He knew that many wished for better lives, for safety, for a way home. After a few hours, Zara opened her eyes again. She sat up slowly and looked around, as if seeing the colony for the first time. "Thank you for your kindness," she said softly. "You did not have to help me." Kai smiled. "Anyone would have helped you, but I'm glad you're here. Maybe you can help us too." Zara nodded but did not answer. She seemed lost in thought. After a moment, she stood and walked to the small window of the shelter. "The wish," she said quietly. "You must decide soon. Time is short." Kai followed her gaze out into the valley. "What happens if I don't choose?" "Then the gift will be lost," Zara said, "and I will have to leave." Kai felt a sudden urgency. The idea of losing this chance made his heart beat faster. But he was still confused. What could he wish for? What did he truly want? Zara noticed his hesitation. She stepped closer and said, "Let me explain more." She told him about the ancient race. She belonged to a group of travelers who watched over the universe. They did not interfere directly, but sometimes they gave gifts to those they believed could make a difference. Kai listened carefully. "Why? Me? What makes me different?" "Because you have hope," Zara said, "and because you have the courage to care for others. That is rare." Kai looked down at his hands, rough and scarred from years of mining. He did not feel special. But Zara's words gave him a new kind of strength. "Tell me," Kai said, "what kind of wishes have others made?" Zara hesitated. Some wished for power and riches. Others wished for knowledge or immortality. Few wished for something truly meaningful. Kai thought about his colony. Many families struggled every day. Machines broke down. Food was scarce. Could I wish for something to help everyone here? To make life better for all? Zara smiled gently. "Yes, but be careful. Wishes are not simple. Changing one thing can change many others." Kai nodded. He wanted to be careful, but the choice was overwhelming. That afternoon, Kai and Zara walked through the colony. People stared at Zara with curiosity and fear. Her strange appearance and quiet confidence made her stand out, but she did not seem afraid. Kai introduced her to some friends. Zara listened as they talked about the hard work, the dangers, and their hopes for the future. One of Kai's friends, a woman named Mira, looked at Zara and said, "Are you really from the stars?" Zara smiled. "Yes, and I am here because of Kai." The words made Kai feel proud and nervous. He did not fully understand what was happening, but he felt a connection growing between him and Zara. That night, under a sky full of stars, Kai sat beside Zara by a small fire. "I don't know what to wish for," he admitted. "There are so many problems here, but I want to make the right choice." Zara looked into the flames. "Listen to your heart. It will guide you." Kai thought about his family, his friends, and the future he dreamed of. He thought about the loneliness he sometimes felt and the hope that maybe, someday, things could be different. As the fire crackled, Zara reached out and touched Kai's hand lightly. "You are not alone," she said. "Whatever you wish, I will be here with you." Kai felt a warmth spread inside him. For the first time in a long time, he believed in something greater than himself. But the next day, a new danger appeared. Strange machines landed near the colony, and armed soldiers came out. They were from a powerful group that wanted to take control of Nova Ridge and its resources. Kai watched as the soldiers moved through the colony, threatening the people and demanding loyalty. The miners and workers felt fear and anger. They had no weapons and little hope. Zara stepped forward calmly. "They will not succeed," she said. "We will protect this place." Kai was surprised by her confidence. "How can we fight them? We are just miners." Zara smiled softly. "Sometimes hope and courage are stronger than any weapon." Together, Kai and Zara began to plan how to protect the colony. They spoke with the leaders and the people, sharing ideas and building trust. Kai felt a new purpose rising inside him. The wish was no longer just a gift for himself, it was a chance to save the people he cared about. As the sun set on the second day, Kai looked at Zara and said, "I think I'm ready to make my wish." Zara's eyes shone in the firelight. "Then choose wisely, Kai. The future depends on it." The night was full of promise and danger. But Kai no longer felt alone. With Zara by his side, he was ready to face whatever came next. The morning light spilled over the rocky hills of Nova Ridge, but Kai hardly noticed. His mind was full of thoughts, swirling like the dust storms that sometimes swept across the planet. The wish, the one chance to change everything. He sat on a large stone, staring at the distant horizon where the colony lay quietly waking up. People moved about, busy with their daily work. Yet, something felt different today. Like the air itself was waiting. Zara sat beside him, calm and quiet. Her green eyes looked at Kai with gentle patience. "You seem ready," she said softly. Kai sighed and looked away. "I don't know if I am. There's so much to think about. What if I choose wrong? What if I make things worse?" Zara shook her head gently. "No choice is perfect, but the courage to decide is what matters. You already carry hope inside you. That is your guide." Kai looked back at her. "I want to help the colony. The people here work hard. But life is still hard. We need safety, food, water, and a future. But how can one wish to do all that?" Zara smiled. "The wish is powerful, but it must come from your heart. What you truly want will shape its power." Kai thought about the dangers they faced, the strange soldiers who arrived, the machines that threatened their home, and the fragile peace that could break at any moment. He also thought about Zara, strange and beautiful, a mystery from the stars. She had come to his world and trusted him. Something inside Kai told him that the wish was connected to her, too. For hours, Kai walked through the colony, watching the people and listening to their stories. He met Mira again, who told him about her children and her dreams for their future. He spoke with old Tomas, who remembered Earth stories and hoped for peace. Everyone wanted something better, but Kai knew that no wish could fix everything at once. He needed to be careful. That night, Kai sat by the fire outside his shelter. Zara joined him, and they shared silence under the vast sky. The stars seemed brighter than ever. Finally, Kai spoke. "Zara, why are you here? What do you really want?" Zara looked up at the stars and then at Kai. "I have waited a long time to find someone who could understand. Someone who could wish for more than power or gold." Kai's heart beat faster. "And what would you want?" "I want freedom," she said quietly. "Freedom from loneliness and from the past that binds me. I want to belong." Kai reached out and took her hand. "You belong here, with us," Zara smiled, but her eyes held sadness. "Belonging is more than being near. It is being seen and accepted." Kai nodded. Suddenly, the choice became clearer. The next morning, the colony faced a new threat. The soldiers returned, louder and stronger. They demanded that the miners give up their work and follow their orders. Kai stood with Zara in the center of the colony. "We will not give up," he told the soldiers firmly. "This is our home." The soldiers laughed. "You don't have the power to stop us." Kai looked at Zara. She nodded and whispered, "Remember your wish." The soldiers advanced, but Kai stood tall. He realized then what he truly wanted, not just for himself, but for everyone. He closed his eyes and spoke softly. "I wish for a future where my people are safe, free, and strong." A bright light surrounded Kai and Zara. The air hummed with energy. When Kai opened his eyes, he saw the soldiers freeze, their weapons lowering as if a force stopped them. The colony's machines started working better. Water flowed from pipes that had been dry for years. Food grew quickly in the gardens. The people smiled, filled with new hope. Zara looked at Kai with amazement. "You did it. Your wish is real." Kai smiled. "No, we did it, together." The soldiers, now calm and confused, left without fighting. The colony was safe. Kai realized that the wish was more than a magic gift. It was the power of belief, courage, and unity. That night, under the stars, Kai and Zara stood side by side. "Thank you for trusting me," Kai said. Zara's eyes shone bright. Thank you for seeing me. The future was still uncertain, but Kai knew one thing for sure: hope was stronger than fear. The morning sun rose softly over Nova Ridge, but inside Kai's shelter, a strange quiet hung in the air. The wish had been spoken, and everything had changed. Kai sat across from Zara, feeling a mix of hope and uncertainty. He watched her closely. Her green eyes, so full of light and mystery, now held something new, something Kai could not understand. I don't know what to say, Kai admitted. Your words, when I said, I want you, you froze. Why? Zara's face remained still, as if a silent storm was hidden beneath. She looked away, her gaze lost in a place far beyond the stars. It is because your wish was not like any other, she said finally, her voice soft and distant. No one has ever wished for me, not for who I am. Kai frowned. What do you mean? Zara took a deep breath. For centuries, I have traveled across the universe, a guardian watching over worlds. But I was trapped alone and bound by a spell that made me more object than person. People wanted power, knowledge, or riches. No one ever wished for me, as a companion, as a friend, or as someone to care for. Kai's heart tightened. He reached out and gently took her hand. I didn't know. I didn't think about that. Zara looked at their hands, then back at Kai. When you said those words, something inside me changed. I felt hope. Something I thought was lost forever. Kai smiled softly. You don't have to be alone anymore. The words hung in the air, full of promise and fear. Outside, the colony was waking. People went about their day, unaware of the quiet miracle happening inside the small shelter. Kai and Zara sat together, the silence between them filled with new meaning. After a moment, Zara stood and moved to the window. She looked out at the colony, her expression unreadable. Your wish freed me, she said quietly. But it also awakened something I did not expect. Now, I must decide what to do next. Kai stood and joined her. Whatever you choose, I'm here. Zara smiled. Faintly, thank you, Kai. As the days passed, Zara began to explore the colony. People were curious but respectful. They sensed something different about her, a gentle strength that did not come from weapons or power. Kai showed her the mining machines and the gardens. They laughed and shared stories of Earth and the stars. Yet, beneath the joy, Zara carried a secret of past filled with loneliness and duty. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Kai and Zara sat on a hill overlooking the colony. Do you regret your wish? Kai asked softly. Zara shook her head. No, but I am afraid. The freedom you gave me is new and strange. I don't know what it means to truly live for myself. Not as a guardian. Kai took her hand again. You don't have to figure it out alone. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day. But not everyone was happy. Far beyond Nova Ridge, the powerful group that had sent soldiers before was watching. They saw Zara's presence as a threat and Kai's growing influence as a danger to their plans. A dark shadow moved toward the colony, bringing new challenges and tests. Kai and Zara knew that their journey was just beginning. Together, they would face the unknown. Guided by the strength of a wish that was more than magic, it was the power of connection and hope. The days after Kai made his wish were filled with hope, but also with challenges. Zara's presence brought a new light to the colony, but it also attracted attention from beyond the rocky hills of Nova Ridge. One evening, as the sky turned orange and purple, Kai and Zara stood at the edge of the colony, watching the stars begin to shine. I feel different, Zara said softly, like a weight has been lifted, but also like I'm waking from a long sleep. Kai nodded. You're free now, free to be yourself. Zara smiled, but her eyes held a hint of sadness. For centuries, I was a guardian, bound by duty and loneliness. I could watch worlds, but never join them. Now, your wish has broken that chain. Kai reached out, taking her hand gently. You don't have to be alone anymore. That night, the colony gathered for a small celebration. People brought food, shared stories, and laughed together. For the first time in a long while, hope felt real. Zara moved among the people, listening and learning. She was no longer just an alien stranger. She was becoming part of their community. But the peace did not last long. one morning. Loud engines roared in the sky. Strange ships appeared on the horizon, dark and heavy. The powerful group that had once sent soldiers to the colony had returned this time with more force. Kai and Zara watched as the ships landed near the colony's edge. Soldiers poured out, armed and ready. Their leader, a tall man with cold eyes, stepped forward. "You have something we want," he said, his voice sharp. The alien woman, Kai, stepped forward, his voice steady. "Zara is not a weapon. She is part of this colony now. We will protect her." The soldiers laughed, but Zara's eyes glowed with a strange power. She raised her hand, and a soft light spread across the ground, creating a barrier that the soldiers could not cross. The leader's face tightened with anger. "You will not stop us." Kai turned to Zara. "What can we do?" Zara looked at the people around her, the families, the workers, the children. "We fight, but not with violence. We fight with courage, hope, and unity." She stepped forward, speaking to the soldiers in a calm, clear voice. "Leave this place. You do not belong here." For a moment, the soldiers hesitated. Then, slowly, they began to retreat, unable to break through Zara's power. The colony cheered, their spirits lifted by the victory. Kai realized then that Zara's power was not just strength, it was a force of protection and peace. But the fight was far from over. The leader promised to return with more soldiers and machines. The colony needed to prepare. Kai and Zara worked together, teaching the people how to defend themselves and strengthen their home. Zara shared stories of her ancient race, and Kai shared the dreams of the colony. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day. One night, as they looked at the stars, Zara said, "Your wish did more than free me. It awakened something inside me, a hope for a future I never thought possible." Kai smiled. "We will face whatever comes, together." The colony was no longer just a place to survive. It was a home, filled with hope and strength. And with Zara by his side, Kai knew they could overcome any challenge. The stars above promised new adventures, new friendships, and a future waiting to be written. The colony of Nova Ridge was changing. The people were stronger, braver, and more united than ever before. Kai and Zara's presence had brought hope, but with that hope came new challenges. The sun was bright in the sky when strange signals began to appear on the colony's scanners. The signals were different from anything Kai had seen before, soft and mysterious, but growing stronger by the hour. Kai and Zara stood in the control room, watching the blinking lights and listening to the strange sounds. "What is this?" Kai asked. Zara's green eyes narrowed. "It is a warning and a call for help." The signals came from deep underground, far beneath the colony's surface. No one had explored those depths before, but now it seemed that something or someone was trying to reach them. Kai looked at the faces of the colony leaders. "We have to find out what's down there." Zara nodded. "This could be important for all of us." The next day, Kai, Zara, and a small group of explorers prepared to go underground. They carried lights, tools, and hope. The tunnels were dark and cold. The walls were rough and covered with strange markings that glowed faintly in the explorers' lights. As they went deeper, the signals grew louder and clearer. The group followed the sound to a large cavern filled with crystals that shine like stars. In the center of the cavern was an ancient machine, covered in dust but still glowing with life. It hummed softly, sending out the signals. Zara stepped forward, placing her hand on the machine. "This is a message from my people, an old warning about a danger coming to this world." Kai's heart raced. "What kind of danger?" Zara looked at him seriously. "A force that wants to take control of the planet and its people. We must prepare." Back on the surface, the colony worked harder than ever. They built defenses, trained together, and shared their hopes and fears. Kai felt the weight of responsibility, but also the strength of the community around him. One night, as the stars shone brightly, Zara spoke to Kai quietly. "You have one wish left." Kai looked at her, surprised. "One wish left? I thought I already used it." Zara nodded. "Your first wish changed much, but the power you have is not finished. You have one more chance to make a choice that could change everything." Kai thought deeply. He remembered the dangers ahead, the people depending on him, and the strange connection he felt with Zara. "I want to protect this place," he said finally. "I want to keep everyone safe." Zara smiled. "Then your wish will be your shield." Suddenly, a warm light surrounded Kai, filling him with energy and strength. He felt ready to face any challenge. The next day, the Dark Force appeared, a huge fleet of ships, moving like shadows across the sky. Kai stood with Zara and the colony leaders. "We will not give up our home." Zara raised her hand, and a powerful wave of energy spread over the colony, strengthening the people and their machines. The battle was fierce but brief. The Dark Force was stopped, pushed back by the courage and unity of Nova Ridge. When the sky cleared, the people cheered. They had won, not just by power, but by hope and togetherness. Kai looked at Zara, grateful. "Thank you for believing in me." Zara smiled softly. "Thank you for believing in us all." The colony was safe for now, but Kai knew that the future would always hold new challenges. With Zara by his side, he was ready to face whatever came next. Together, they looked up at the stars, dreaming of new adventures and a brighter future. The stars shone brightly over Nova Ridge, casting silver light on the rocky hills and the small colony nestled between them. The battle had passed, and the dark threat was gone, at least for now. Kai stood on the highest hill, looking out over the home he loved. The people of the colony were busy rebuilding, fixing machines, planting gardens, and sharing smiles that had been rare before. Zara joined him quietly, her presence calm and strong. Together, they watched the sky, feeling the peace that had come after so much struggle. Kai turned to Zara and smiled. "We did it, together." Zara smiled back, her eyes shining. "Yes, together, your wishes changed everything, not just for you, but for all of us." Kai remembered the moment he first met Zara, the alien woman who said, "You have one wish left." At first, he had been confused, scared even. But now, he understood the true meaning of those words. It wasn't just about magic, Kai said softly. It was about hope, courage, and believing in each other. Zara nodded. "And about trust. You trusted me, and you trusted yourself. That is why the wishes worked. The colony was stronger than ever. People shared their skills, helped one another, and dreamed of a future where they could thrive without fear." But for Kai and Zara, the journey was not over. One evening, as the sun set in a blaze of orange and red, Zara told Kai something important. "My people watch over the universe," she said. "We protect worlds and help those who need it. But now, I want to stay here, with you, with this colony." Kai's heart leapt. "You mean you want to be part of this world, with us?" Zara smiled warmly. "Yes, I want to learn what it means to be free, truly free, and to be with people who care." Kai took her hand gently. "Then we will build that future together." Over the following weeks, Zara taught the colony many things: how to use new technologies, how to care for the land, and how to believe in their own strength. The people welcomed her as one of their own, and Zara's smile grew brighter every day. Kai and Zara grew closer, their friendship turning into something deeper, something full of kindness and respect. One day, as they walked through the blooming gardens, Kai stopped and looked at Zara. "I want to thank you," he said, "for everything, for the wishes, for your trust, and for being here." Zara's eyes shone with emotion. "And I thank you, Kai, for freeing me and for showing me what it means to belong." The colony celebrated a new festival, a day of hope and gratitude. People danced under the stars, sang songs of courage, and shared stories of their journey. Kai stood with Zara, feeling proud of what they had built. "This is only the beginning," Zara said softly. Kai nodded. "A new beginning." Together, they looked up at the vast sky, full of stars and endless possibilities. The alien woman's words still echoed in Kai's mind. "You have one wish left." But now, Kai knew that the greatest wish was not a single moment of magic. It was the promise of friendship, hope, and a future built together. As the colony thrived and the stars watched silently, Kai and Zara stepped forward, ready to face whatever adventures the universe would bring, side by side. The story of Nova Ridge was just beginning.